God, hi. Okay, so continuing this series. So today we're going to be talking about the absolute basics of blush. I'm holding my lip balm. I don't know why. So blush might feel... What? Blush might seem like, I don't know, kind of self-explanatory, maybe, you know? Like you put it on your cheeks. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it. But there's some things that can be helpful to know. So once again, I feel like it all kind of starts with your undertone, you know? Knowing what, like, looks best on your skin. I'll reiterate, I am very fair. I have an olive undertone. My skin tends to look very yellow, so warmer colors typically flatter me the most. Why do I have a cool white background? I don't know. So I tend to lean more towards peachy colors. I love a peachy color. It just brings out more warmth in my skin. It kind of helps to balance, I think, the green in my skin. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I just feel like it does. That being said, I love wearing like a fuchsia colored blush. Like blushes, I can wear a baby pink blush sometimes. It really depends on like what eyeshadow I'm wearing, honestly. But if I'm going just by like my skin tone and what I think is going to be the most flattering, the most natural looking, then I'm gonna go for something that's got like a little bit more peach in it. Why do we wear blush? Like, what is the point of it? I talked about in the bronzer video. Wait, did I film contour yet? I haven't even filmed contour yet. I don't know if the contour video is up yet. That should be up. Okay, so I talked about either the bronzer or the contour video. If you haven't watched those would be very helpful to watch. About basically how, like, when we apply foundation and concealer to our skin, foundation mostly, we're putting this like flat color on our face and our skin isn't opaque. It's not one color. Obviously, like, blush is supposed to kind of mimic the areas where you blush. So we do get redness in our face, and typically, like, that happens on the cheeks. When you're flushed, if you've gone for a run, if you've been out in the sun, you know, for various reasons, whatever. I need some matcha, hold on. I'm talking too fast, let me just drink more caffeine. So it's like, applying foundation, we've like neutralized all the colors in our skin, right? We've like created this cohesive base color. With bronzer, contour, blush, we're adding that color back in where we want it. So maybe you're someone who gets really, really red here around your nose. Maybe it comes up onto your cheeks. Maybe it's on your chin. You're eliminating that redness when you put down a green color corrector and then a foundation or whatever, just a foundation. And then you are going back in with that color to bring life to the face, and you're choosing where it goes. You know what I mean? Now, as far as formula goes, I love a powder blush. I love a cream blush. I've been into cream blush recently. Whatever you want. You know what I mean? Powder might be a little bit easier. You don't want to go for something that's going to be like super duper pigmented. You want something that's going to be a little bit more soft. It's going to be a little bit more user friendly. It just means that you're not going to be applying like way too much. I think I can't remember what video I didn't mention this in. Someone did comment once about deep skin and how they prefer people with deep skin, maybe medium as well. I believe this person was referencing deep skin, but I was talking about how they prefer a more pigmented blush because it will actually show up on their skin. So just to let you guys know, because I don't know if I've said it in this series, I am not a professional makeup artist. I went to school for painting and I became interested in makeup, but I'm completely self-taught. So basically all of my knowledge comes from like the shit that I've done to this face, which is white. So unfortunately, I don't know that much about like varying skin tones. I can try to give recommendations, but I'm really glad that person left that comment because that made more sense to me. So if you do have like deeper, medium to deep skin and you feel like blushes are just looking chalky, then maybe you do want something that's going to be more pigmented, and hopefully someone in the comments can let me know like what products would be best. So I'm going to link some of my favorite blushes, cream and powder down below in my like products mentioned or whatever. Today, I'm going to be using a cream blush because I feel like powder blush is a little bit easy. You use a brush, you know what I mean? It's not that complicated. You do want to use something that's going to be a little bit more fluffy, and you want to be precise. You want to be you want to have intention when you place it. So the blush that I'm going to be using is the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Blush. This is in the shade 220 Eura Peach. And like I said, I like peachy blushes. I just think that they're the most flattering on me. This is one of the ones that I just like. I just really like it. It's very pretty, you know? All right, so as far as applying a cream blush, you can use a sponge, you can use a brush. It's really up to you. A sponge might pick it up. I don't even know if I necessarily prefer a sponge over a brush. I like to just kind of like use the brush that, or the sponge, I mean, that I like applied my foundation with. So I would just like pat into this product. You do run a little bit more risk of like applying too much though. Now, as far as placement goes, actually, I'm gonna do it on this side. As far as placement goes, I have a video, it's a little old now, but where I talk about the difference between like the placement of blush on your face. I have quite high cheekbones, so if I turn like that, you can see like this is where the volume of my face is. If I smile, this area of my face, like my cheek, doesn't get like super round. Like that's not where the volume is. It becomes a little bit more like, it's still kind of flat here, you know what I mean? So like the majority of the volume on my cheek is up here by my cheekbone. So I prefer applying my blush a little bit higher up on my cheekbone, because if I bring it down to this area, which would be considered the apples of my cheeks, it kind of just like drags my face down. It just doesn't like suit my face shape. If you do have big round cheeks, then you might want to apply it on the like right on the apples of your cheeks, because it'll be more flattering for your face shape. So I'm gonna start off, I like to kind of start off like up here. You wanna, oh, that's a lot. You wanna use a nice light hand. I always have a paper towel nearby. And then I'm just going to, I'm placing it in the area where I want it first, the majority of the pigment, and then I'm going to just diffuse around the edges. So then I'm going to take it a little bit onto the cheek, but I'm keeping it like pretty close up by my cheekbone. And I like to take it like just under my temple. It's nice and light, you know? Like it's actually not too pigmented at first. I thought I was gonna have problems. But can you see how it just creates this really nice like glow on this part of my cheek? If I were to bring it down too far, kind of just drags the eye downward. It drags it like down here, and it just makes this part of my face look a little bit more saggy. I've done it before, it's just like not the most flattering. So this is the most flattering for my face shape. So depending on how your face is shaped, that's how you're gonna wanna place it. Now, if I was going to apply this with a brush, which I often do because I like it, this is the Morphe M405 brush. It's just a nice fluffy angled brush. This is the one that I would use for powders and creams. So this just kind of gives you a little bit more precision, because sometimes your sponges can be like a little bit large, you know? So I would just do the same thing that I would do for a powder as well. So I just kind of like pat it in the cream. That might be a little bit too much. You can pat it off like any excess on your paper towel. And then the same thing. Okay, that might be a little bit too much. So I'm gonna wipe it off a little bit. So I placed it in the area where I want like the majority of the pigment, and then I'm just going in and blending around the edges. You can kind of see like the way that this brush is shaped. I can like use it to sculpt a little bit. I can be a little bit more precise around my hairline. And I'm holding my brush back pretty far. That's really important. That's gonna help you apply like more of an airbrushed kind of finish. And then that is basically how I would apply powder blush as well. So it's the same kind of process, again, with that kind of brush. And you can use any brush that you want. I like an angled brush just because, I don't know, I like sculpting. I like it. But yeah, that's basically that. Just keep in mind, and it's the same thing for bronzers, that if you do have breakouts in certain areas, like I have a bunch of breakouts here, if you use something that has like pearl or shimmer in it, heavy pearl or shimmer, it is going to create a light reflection on those areas and make them more noticeable. Yeah, so that's basically that. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below, and let me know which or what you would like to see in the series. What else you'd like to see in the series. I got a recommendation for the basics of eyeliner, which like, I don't even know how you do the basics of eyeliner, but I'm gonna try. So yeah, bye.